Friends, I have something that I want to share with you, and that is around the topic of cycle breaking. So, what I've come to understand is that the entire purpose of healing, of journeying through this life, is not only to learn, but also to break cycles. And I think that that's why we gather. And I think that that's why Kundalini Yoga matters. And I think also that's why we, as conscious human beings, get to relate to ourselves in this newly defined way. So super excited to chat with you. I'm back. I did a little move, a little bit unexpected move, and that has given me room to pause and rearrange my schedule, but I'm back. And it's incredible to be with you. So thank you, Maria. Thank you for being with us. And if you could drop a comment, let me know where you're tuning in from, how you found this particular channel. What is your inspiration for Kundalini Yoga? I'd love to hear about it. Knowing your why helps me get really clear on my why. So as you can tell, it's a back and forth. It's a community experience. Okay, so let's dive into this idea of cycle breaking, because I think that's really where we have a lot of room to play around with words, with language, and to understand get a little deeper insight into how we want to navigate where we are in our lives right now. Okay, so let's hold that idea. So first of all, what is a cycle? What is a pattern? And you could say that a pattern is routinely repeated behavior. Simple, right? In fact, I posted a reel on Instagram yesterday. You may want to go over there and take a look. The reel, here's the summary. The reel says, if you're in a situationship with somebody and they're saying one thing, but their actions convey something else, the really important standard to hold yourself and other people to is to believe the pattern, not the person. Okay? And that's a little bit of tough medicine, but at the same time, I know you can take it, so I'm offering it to you. What is the repeated pattern? Not what they're saying and not what they mean or what they intend, but what is the action showing? And I think when we get really clear on allowing ourselves to look at the pattern, we can see where hurt or harm or experiences of trust gone missing or patterns of not quite believing what's happening. So without doubting yourself anymore, take a look at the pattern and trust the pattern. Trust what's happening in your body, trust what you're seeing and observing about the other person, and then act on that information. Because when you do that, it becomes a lot clearer, a lot easier what your next steps are. So where do these cycles and patterns come from? And I'm sure that as you're listening, you can probably think of a few, but I want to name them for you so that we get really clear. Number one, you could say it comes from the family system. How did other people in your family, generations before you, how did they handle conflict? How did they handle their emotions? How did they handle communication? And what did you learn from those experiences, right? So patterns oftentimes come from external sources. There are cultural narratives, which means how does society think about this particular thing? Are there certain actions that are condoned and certain actions that are permissible based on who's doing it and why they're doing it? So cultural narratives, the second one. The third one is ours. What are our trauma responses? How do we protect ourselves as children? What do we feel is the best root and cause based on our lived experience? That's the next one, and that's about how we adapted to trauma. And then very much related is how does our nervous system respond to these kind of things? So if there is an injustice, if there is a lack of transparency, if there is a request for information and nothing comes forward, or there's a request to navigate a situation and no information's coming, how does your body respond to those things? How does your body relate to those experiences? And that's what we want to get really clear on, because breaking a cycle means addressing all of that criteria. I know, right? You didn't sign up for the easy route. You signed up for something that is complex and multi-layered and meaningful and very appropriate if you want to pass on in this lifetime a legacy of reclaiming, of owning your lived experience, of having your path mapped out for you instead of following what everybody else has done before you. So this is sacred work. And this is the work of freeing yourself, of generational healing, and also creating new pathways. And I know it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel like there are really big risks. It's going to feel like your safety, your identity, everything that you ever imagined for yourself is going to get upended. And at the same time, that's the work. And as we do the work, we can really understand how our nervous system can help us. And here we can really understand that the cycles that we have experienced are just well-worn grooves. And just like any groove in a garden, across a lawn, you add a little bit more seed, the grass comes back in, and you take a different path. So I don't mean to minimize the challenge this requires, but even nature has a way of coming through. And we want that. I want that for you. I want that for myself. I want that for all of us. Okay. So just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's healthy. Just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's healthy. Just because you know how to deal with it doesn't mean it's the best thing for you. Okay. So that's what we want to take a look at. So now let's go into a little bit of introspective moment. So this is a good time to pull out your journal or to pull the notes application on your phone somewhere. You can scribble down some ideas. Don't just leave them in your mind. Actually put them down on paper. Put them down somewhere where you can crystallize it. You can actually see it in writing. And from here, here's the question. What is the pattern that is most obvious to me right now? What is the pattern that I'm working on, that I'm addressing? What is most obvious to me right now? Maybe it's a pattern of people pleasing. Maybe it's a pattern of avoiding confrontation. Maybe it's a pattern of avoiding. Maybe you fill in the blanks. Okay. What is it that you're noticing right now? And let's do a little bit of a deep dive and get a little more clear on what is the impact. And then we'll do a Kundalini Yoga practice to move through that, to allow ourselves to physically, somatically use our bodies to transmute that energy and to leave ourselves in a new place. And at the very end, I'm happy to take questions if there's anything that you want to know about. How do we move through things? What are you working on in your practice? I'm happy to stay on and we can talk a little bit more about that. Okay. So as you are determining what the pattern is that you're facing right now, then let's do a little bit more, shall we? And just give a little shout out to our friends from Vancouver. Hi, Maria. And from Susan, hello from Germany. I love it. Thank you so much. I love hearing from everybody around the world. I'm in Toronto, Canada. Today is a beautiful sunny day, and I'm looking out at Lake Ontario as we record this. And as a reminder, this particular recording will be live for 24 hours on YouTube, and then it'll get moved into exclusive content for Harmony Within, which is my group mentoring program where this is what we talk about every week. Every week there's a new topic, a new way of referencing information. Then we get to hear from ourselves and each other. And so if that's of interest, Harmony Within is your next place to land with me. Okay, so here's some questions. Where does this pattern come from? Now that you've identified the pattern, where does it come from? what was the fear? What was the pattern you noticed? What was the unconscious or conscious decision you made a long time ago about how you would handle the situation? Is it still relevant for you? Is it working the way that you need to? So that's number one. Where did this pattern come from? You could take that in lots of different directions. How does your body respond when you're in the cycle? When you have that interaction, or when you do that thing, or when you don't do that thing? What is it that your body is telling you? What's happening there? And while you're jotting down your notes, it's a little quote that I heard this morning that I found really interesting. And it was this. I wrote it down in my notes. Avoidance will make you feel more comfortable in the short run, but it will never make you less afraid. Avoidance will make you feel more comfortable in the short run, but it will never make you feel less afraid. Okay. So, how does your body respond when you're in the cycle? Next question. What's been the cost of continuing it? What has been the overall cost? And we're going deep today. We're going into those inner trenches so that we can really look at, there has definitely been some benefits. There's probably a lot of conflict that we've avoided by not breaking the cycle, not addressing it. But then where has it left us? What is the end result? What's been the cost? Who else is impacted as you chose to break this cycle? Who are the people around you who are experiencing you differently, who might be receiving some side effects of you breaking the cycle? And what kind of support do you need to sustain the change? And that's really key, because we are social creatures. Human beings, we're social creatures. If we've decided that people are no good and we're only going to stick with our animals, that means that some harm has been done. And that's important to know and important to see. And our best healing is always done in community, places where we trust who's around us, places where our voices can be received with love and care and connection. Okay. So what kind of support do you need? Now that you've identified the pattern, you know that it has an impact. What do you need to move through it? Is it is it more journaling? Is it more movement? Is it Kundalini Yoga? Is it going for more walks? Is it more water? Is it time where you can rest and be alone so that you can process all of that? Just come with your own idea. Okay, so let's move into our practice now. We start with doing some breath work, and then the practice that I've chosen for you today is called fists of anger. Fists of anger. So let's start with our alternate nostril breathing. Alternate nostril breathing is amazing for balancing both hemispheres of the brain. It can, if you need to be energized, it can energize. If you need to relax and simmer yourself down, it's really good for that as well. And to move forward with this idea of cycle breaking, we want to feel that sense of balance, sense of neutral, that we're doing it for the greater good. And knowing that sometimes taking new action is going to create some distress and some discomfort inwardly. Okay, so let's do this now. I'm going to take a left hand and bring the first finger and thumb to touch and place that on your knee. And then with your right hand, we're going to start alternating. So we're going to use the right thumb, and the baby finger to start alternating. Okay, so placing your right thumb against your right nostril, inhale left. And then use the baby finger and exhale right. Inhale right. Cover the right nostril, exhale left. Inhale left. Cover, exhale. Inhale. Cover, exhale. Excellent. So you want to do an exhale and an inhale on each side. And then as you switch, move your fingers. Good. So continue that pattern, continue that cycle. Notice that not all cycles and all patterns are bad. This one actually creates a regulating impact. And so you keep going with the breath work. I want to explain a few things and help you deepen your practice by offering you a little bit more detail. See about inhaling for a count of 4 and exhaling as a count of 4 as a way of starting off this practice. And then as you get more comfortable with switching and feeling yourself deep into the breath work, see if you can extend that. Move to a count of 5 or 6 or 7, and then continue. And again, alternate nostril breathing here is where we're balancing both hemispheres of the brain. As you breathe through the right nostril, the left hemisphere gets activated, and then vice versa. So we're working on both sides. Remember that body is cross-referenced. So when you're working on the right side, it's actually the left part of the brain that gets activated. So really important to know that piece. Okay, so we're gonna do one more round on each side. Good. Then wherever your hand is, take a deep inhale and then float your hand all the way down, exhaling. And then just stay here for a moment. How did that experience work for you? What did you notice? And how do you feel now? Amazing. Very simple, very straightforward. And now let's begin our fists of anger. So I'll show you how that goes and we'll do a breathing technique. There's lots of different pieces here. First part is that we're going to be inhaling and exhaling through an O-shaped mouth. So that's number one, is that the breath is coming fast and furious and it's coming through the mouth. And then here is the mudra. So we're going to take the thumbs and place it underneath the baby finger and then bring your fingers to cover over your thumbs. Okay, I'm going to step back now so that you can see a little bit. And here is the movement. So we're going to cycle the arms over the head best you can. Now, if you find that stretching up over your head is painful or it doesn't work for you today, you can do that same practice here in front of your chest. The idea is to get it going and to combine it with your breathing technique. Okay, so let's go. Eyes are closed, and here we go. All right, 1 minute out of the way. We have 2 more minutes to go. Short practice today and also very effective. There are times in the experience of breaking cycles where you're going to get angry. Angry at yourself, angry at people around you. And I want you to have a safe way to deal with that so it doesn't sit in your body and cause problems down the line. Let's go. One more minute to go. As you purse your lips and you breathe through the mouth, you're activating your nervous system, your vagus nerve, and cultivating that energy to progress yourself. 30 seconds left. Inhale very deeply. And exhale very deeply and completely. And exhale, letting go of your hands. And just stop for a moment. Let yourself equalize, come to equilibrium. A really amazing practice. Just take care not to do it towards the end part of the day because that might get you activated before it's your bedtime or time for you to rest. So notice the experience now. Notice how you feel, what transpired, and then drop a comment. Let us know what you experienced. Placing your palms together and close here, and then I'll stay on for a Q&A and some parting thoughts as we complete our practice and experience cycle breaking in a slightly different way. Inhale. Sat Nam. Ground yourself. Bring yourself to a centered place now that you've experienced. Do a shout out to Dawn. Shout out to Kumar, Susan, and Maria. Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. So, thoughts on that practice? What did you notice? What shifted? We did 3 minutes, and that's the time requirement. So very short, very effective, and a great way to move yourself through anger. Anger is normal, anger is natural, it is part of our defense mechanism. And so when you come across that emotion, I humbly request that you ask it, what does it want you to know? You can do that in a place of meditation, a place where you feel after a shower, maybe wherever you feel a little bit more relaxed and you're looking to tap into the wisdom of your body, is to find out, where's this coming from? What do I need to know? What's it trying to tell me? And I find those kind of questions really, number one, intriguing. It opens the door to further insight and a way to really leverage your Kundalini Yoga practice. Because here, as we release the energy of anger, whether we knew that we had it or not, we also get a little closer to our protective place, the innocent place inside of us that needs that protection. Okay? And so when you know that you need that protection, it doesn't become a burden or a problem anymore. It's a witness. It is a loving gesture from our bodies towards ourselves. Okay. So as you are winding down here, some questions for you. And also I'm open to your questions. So please make sure that you comment there and anything that you're curious about Kundalini Yoga, how it works, or what you're doing with your practice right now, or how to find this particular video once its time on YouTube is finished, you can always drop a comment below. This is the kind of work that we do regularly, I mean weekly, in Harmony Within. There is a dedicated group of yogis who come together to have these conversations. Because, here's what I'm finding out is that this is very human stuff. Breaking cycles, feeling our feelings, figuring out how to identify our feelings, all of that is part of our life experience. So if it's happening and you feel alone and isolated in it, it's very easy for it to get much bigger. Oh, I'm the only one, or how come everyone's figured it out except for me? These kind of ways that we talk to ourselves gets a real reality check when we sit in the companionship of other people who say very similar things. This is how I treat myself when this happens. This is how I forget about myself when this happens. Okay. So that's called Harmony Within. It's group mentoring. There's Kundalini Yoga there. There's a whole library of different practices. And those practices are not available here on YouTube. They only exist over there. So you're getting fresh content, you're getting new content, and very much organized so that you can identify, okay, where's the challenge I'm having? And then go and find it. Go and find the remedies. So it's much more easy to navigate than all of the 700 videos here on YouTube. It's very theme oriented, so you can go in and take a look at the practices and really drill down. Is it breath work I want to do right now? Is it movement I want to do right now? What am I working on? What do I want to do? What do I need to do? Okay, with a lot of guidance from me as well and the community. Okay, so that is Harmony Within. And then the big sister to Harmony Within, for those of you who are ready to get closer to Kundalini Yoga as a body of knowledge, that's Kundalini Yoga training. Such a powerful way to advance your practice, be with others who love this practice, who are curious about it, who want to get real, who want to get ready to guide and lead other people. Powerful. Particularly if you are a woman in your midlife, let's say 30 plus, a really powerful way to set yourself up for the next chapters of your life, because being healthy mentally, emotionally, spiritually is such a powerful way to live in your life, in this body. Okay, so those two things, Harmony Within, Kundalini Yoga training, and if you just want to work one-on-one with me, I'm ready for it. We can have really deep conversation without getting into turning in assignments and showing up at a specific time where everybody else is, but rather just for you and me. So that's called Soul Compass. 3 offerings, all the links are below. And let me see here. I came into the video late. I saved this to watch later to practice. I'm brand new to this. How long will the video be available? Okay, Dawn, thank you for being here. Video is available for 24 hours, and so glad that you asked. This content is curated for all of you so that you, if you are joining in live, you get a sneak peek at what we talk about in Harmony Within, and then it moves over in 24 hours into the Harmony Within library. So all the videos that I've done since November onwards are all there, and they're waiting for you. So you can do a deep dive, you can do a binge on all of that content, and really learn a lot along the way. And remember, we get to interact. And that interaction is just as important as having the content. Like you, I binge a lot of information. I love to learn. And when I get to actually talk to the teacher who has put that content forward, it's so much more enriching because I can ask the questions that are most relevant and they can answer me directly. Okay. So yeah, come in, you got 24 hours to take a look and you'll have lots to take a look at. Yes, you're most welcome, Dawn. Happy to help. Are there any other questions, any comments, questions, things that you want to know about Kundalini Yoga so that I can help you? Some of you have asked, and I'll take this from the general range of conversations, why do Kundalini Yoga teachers always wear white? And so for the trivia buffs out there, I want to explain, and also this is very much related to cycle breaking. The energy of our thoughts, our emotions, our voice is identified, understood by us as yogis as being part of your vibrational frequency. Your vibratory frequency is called your aura. It is the energy that extends 9 feet in all directions, potentially 9 feet in all directions. And so as Kundalini Yoga teachers, when I wear white, when a teacher wears white, expands the aura to this 9 feet. And what it does then is also purifies my thinking thoughts, because I do have a life and also things going on. But when I show up wearing white, then you get the pure essence of what's happening. And that is our relationship, our ability to connect, and not the personality. And so that's another element of why teachers in Kundalini Yoga wear white. And the third one, and I'll say this for myself, I'm not sure that all Kundalini Yoga teachers feel this way, but for me, when I put on a white shirt, I know what my job is. I know it's like wearing a uniform. I know where to show up. I know how to show up. I know what to do and how to do it. I really trust myself in this experience. And it's really good to know, when life becomes challenging and I lose my footing, or I'm not quite sure what the next move is, I know that when I put on a white shirt and I show up here, I know what I'm talking about. And that's a really good grounding place to be, because there are so many other places that are more challenging. What to do in relationships, what to do about health challenges, what to do in parenting situations. And all of those pieces have question marks. But when I wear my white shirt, I have no question mark. I know what my job is, right? So you may have that same experience. Maybe you wear a uniform for work. Maybe when you see a particular uniform, you know what's up, you know what's going on, you know what is expected from that person. And so that's the reason that Kundalini Yoga teachers wear white. I hope that was helpful for you. And looks like we are complete with our reflections today. Here is my challenge for you, is as you are going through your day and you've identified the pattern that is coming up that you need to pay attention to, here are a couple of ideas. What is one small action that you can take to help progress, to move this, to shift this pattern? What's one thing you can do? And what is one thing that you can stop doing? Until we meet again, lots of love to you. My name is Salimah, yoga therapist. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for 61,000 subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, you can go and do that thing. If you found this helpful, like, share, comment below. That's always good for the algorithm and allows all of us who are looking at the comment section to engage with you. So please go ahead and do that now. And I will see you in harmony within. Until then, lots of love.